Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of my new 48-team Custom League Draft to Glory franchise. If you missed the last episode, well, you missed our first season sim where the Seattle Spiders won the WHA/NHL. They won the title. They did. As a 16th seed. It was pretty ridiculous. We also went through our first draft. But yeah, I kind of like this playoff format still. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I really like how that played out. You don't have to worry about anything. It's just the top 8 teams from each conference make it. It's going to be cool. It's going to be different. So as we discovered in the last one, this is about to be stupid in terms of contracts. Now, we're not going to re-sign any of these guys. But Jonas Rask, for example, our leading scorer, wants $6.3 million. Some of these contracts are about to be absolutely ridiculous. So let's go ahead, sim to the start of free agency. We're obviously not going to make a play for any major players. Our biggest thing here going to be our coaching staff, our scouts, and then we will fill out this roster with very cheap options with the exception of a couple of cap whales. So this will take a moment as it does. Oh God, do I want to bore you guys? I don't. Here, let me fix this up here. You see the process. This is all it is. Let me fix this up and we'll get back. Actually, never mind. Never mind. Okay, well, there's not that much to fix up actually because all of the scouts are terrible. That's good? Not good? It depends on the abilities of other teams' scouts, but there's nobody good. Aside from the ones that we have already. So, we need to send out 10 contracts. I don't think I've ever seen the scouting pool this shallow in terms of just like nobody to sign. Interesting. Are there any good coaches then? Nope. No, there is not. We'll pretty much just leave it then? I guess we'll just leave it. There's a couple of improvements, but okay, this is going to be a weird franchise mode, let me tell you. So free agency, the the max offer is Eric Gustafson, who's looking for $12 million, almost $13 million. Oh, this is going to be so weird as this keeps going along, because as teams get better, you might still have guys like this who actually are like AHL level getting paid $13 million. Oh, that's the great equalizer to the AI being able to sign free agents but not being able to trade. We also currently have 0 players under contract with the full $88 million in cap space. What the hell? This is going to be nuts. So really quickly, let's go ahead to our unsigned players. The question is whether or not we want to sign people immediately because they're NHL caliber, or if we just want to leave them and wait and see if they develop a little bit faster. But at the same time, I think it's beneficial to play these guys now because at the NHL level, they're not going to be overshadowed. They are NHL level already. So if someone like Dragicevic steps into the lineup and wins Rookie of the Year, he might even be able to compete for a Norris. That overall should skyrocket off of that early success. So I think we are going to be aggressive. We are immediately going to sign the 7 players that were drafted. Of course, we let the AI pretty much handle it for us because who cares? It didn't really make too much of a difference, but we will give every single one of these players exactly what they want. Of course, we brought in 2 goaltenders as well, including the legend of Nick Russia. And yeah, overall, I'm feeling pretty good. We're still going to have to fill out the roster, of course, but we will do that once prices go down rather significantly. And of course, we're going to have to spam this button about 25,000 times just to get through 10. I wish there was a different way it presented this information. Just bring back the mailbox. Remember back in the day, you used to just be able to open your email and be like, oh, hey, here's the response from all of these people. Like, come on. It's ridiculous. So actually, what we'll do what we'll do, let's look at free agency really quickly. Are there any of those other big offers out there? Oh, boy, yeah. Some of the... Fedor Gurdiev! Forever! Maine Mariners legend. We will wait. We'll wait this out. We will see who the highest paid players in the league are once we get to the beginning of the preseason. But there we go. We should be about a month into free agency. Prices should be down. Let's fill out the rest of this roster. Jesus, the money some of these guys are asking. The money, I mean, look at the prices still. So, in terms of those who are looking at league minimum, oh god, a lot of these guys though are okay. Actually, if I look at two-way and then sort by overall, Francesco LaPena. Let's go ahead and sign you to. I mean, what will be an ELC? It's going to be pretty tough to not sign people to ELCs. Christian Helianco. He's Spanish, apparently. Let's go ahead and sign him. And Thibaut Faton, who is very French, is my guess. I mean, you gotta be. Look at the facial hair. If you're not of French descent, you're not allowed to rock that facial hair. I'm just saying. Regular musketeer, this guy. Defensively, who do we have on the one-year deals? We have Zamorsky, Peter Zamorsky, and Tomas Dvorak. Or as I've learned, because we used to have, Dvorak, like the Florida Panthers, Dallas Stars, apparently it's Dvorak is something that I've heard. And then people who are actually from there will be like, it is not. Where did you hear that? And I'll say, I don't remember. Maybe Elite Prospects. Who knows? Peter Boudrias. Carl. Every team needs a Carl. Raskob. Willie Raskob. Well, I was going to say Raskob. No. If your name's Willie, and it's Raskob, baby. Who else do we have? Maciej Striecki. Well, this is fun, isn't it? Look at these guys getting work. We need about 6 more defenders. Let's start off with Eddie Larson. Mr. Otso Rantakari. Otso, come on in. Griffin Mendel, 6'6", big boy. Peter Anderson. Come on down, Mr. Anderson. We need 2 more people. Let's go for Alex Roach. I can get that name right. And Ramon Uttersander. I hope. There we go. Those will be our options there. And at forward, Sebastian Repo. Speaking of former Florida Panthers, let's bring him in. We have Hakalainen. Henri Hakalainen. Dario Bergler. Please tell me that's how it's said. That would be great. Anton Svensson. Come on down. We have Adam Pedersen. I didn't see the double T. Owen Peterson. There we go. We got the Pedersen. We got the Peterson. Everything's working out good, except we're not going to sign him and be an ELC. Daniel Arakos. This is going to be Tag Bertuzzi, isn't it? Yep. Well, congratulations. You get a boatload of money just for the hell of it. Somebody needed to. Kai Kantola. Mr. Kantola, welcome aboard. Julian Napravnik. Let's give a boatload of money to Napravnik. Why not? 17 million, sir, at least for the season. Why not? Let's sim a few days, get all of these contracts in there. I bet you are extremely happy to accept my offer. I bet you are. So how many spots do we have? We still have 25 people under contract. I feel like I signed so many people. Jesus. Well, we still have 36 million available. There are some guys who are now up over a 70. I mean, Daniel Fishbook. How can you not want to sign the Fishbook? We'll go for him because we have to spend a bit more money. Let's go for former Oiler legend Anton Lander. And Matthew Strome, because for those of you who remember back in the day, we had a series where we tried to get all 3 Stromes, and Matthew disappeared from the database as we tried to sign him. That was an all-timer. It was an all-time moment. All 3 players end up signing with us. Now, you might be saying we're making our team too good, and maybe we are. But But at the same time, we kind of saw last season, like you really never know who's going to finish towards the bottom of the standings and who will not. But we got to, I mean, again, we got money that we have to spend. Let's bring in Lodnia, former Wild draft pick. Chizowski, of course, who we just saw had a very, very good season. It's got to be Jeremy McKenna, I would imagine. It is. Let's keep spending that money instead of having numerous different cap whales. And, we'll give these guys an opportunity. Why the heck not? Chizowski had 73 points last year. We still have $12 million. Jesus. Sean Malone, former Rochester American. Seamus Malone. No, it wasn't even Sean Malone. You got Bengston. We'll go for Cole Fonstad. At least I imagine that's Cole Fonstad. It is. And who else? What else do we want to go for here? That's the big question. I don't even know. Does it even matter? No, it doesn't. I'll answer my own question. How much money do we have left? $6 million? All right, cool. Let's sign a few more forwards to round this out. Do we have any fun names? Any fun? Slaggert. Let's go for Graham Slaggert. Riley Fiddler Schultz. Tremendous name. Former Hitman, judging by the jersey there. Is this Mario Kempe? It is Mario Kempe. Brother of a legend. Let's sign Mario Kempe. Peter Straka. Blue Jackets pick. They have a lot of picks like that in their history. Brady Burns, the St. John Sea Dogs. Whoops. Well, Brady, congrats on your ELC. Didn't mean to sign you to that, but what are you going to do? Anybody else who's overly interesting for no particular reason? Anybody? To me? No? Okay. I mean, we should be fine. We should have enough people, right? Hopefully. I was just hoping to see some random person where it's just like, yes, this person, but I mean, we're down to almost the 65 overalls now. We are down to the 65 overalls. We should be fine. We should be okay. Everything should be just fine. We should have enough people to actually ice a team this year as opposed to having 0 players under contract. And let's see what we got. Now, first and foremost, we will go to the player search and let's see who the highest paid players in the league are that are not, cap whales of my own team. 13 players are making over 10 million. So Bertuzzi's ours, Napravik is ours. So that oh my God, Gustafsson got $13.5 million from Los Angeles. Nick Balin secures $13 million from Atlanta. Montreal signed former Caps prospect Tobias Geiser to $11 million. Dayton signs Lucas Ekestad Janssen to $10.7 million. Washington with Heinrich making $10 million. Akdag, the legend, goes to New Orleans. And Yakovenko goes to Vegas. Linus Hogberg to Denver. Welsh also goes to Washington. And Matt Bodie on his way to Philadelphia. Man, there were a lot of big money players. Whew. All right. We'll see how those contracts play out long term, huh? We are listed as buyers, given who we brought on to the team, which is okay. We are going to go with Russia and Ratzlaff as our goaltenders. And then defensively, Dragicevic is our best one. 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that should be good. Did we, outside of Parker, and you know what, again, let's get Parker onto the NHL team. Let's play him here. It's not like, again, he'll be that overshadowed. Bentham as well. I got to go with Bentham. It's probably Bentham, but Bentham, man. Bentham. For the forwards, I mean, we might win a cup this year, guys. Look at the amount of first-line talent we signed. We might just win a cup this year. We will go for Justin Dezout. We will go for Oswald. And I think that was it in terms of our drafted players. Let's see if we can get Tag Bertuzzi onto the team. we will send down a bunch of the 67s. So that is 10, 11, 12 with Hakalinen. So we got to send down he and Repo. Again, it's 10, 11, 12, and 13. So it's either Bertuzzi, Slaggert, or Fiddler Schultz. You know what? I mean, the Bertuzzi name has been restored by Tyler just a little bit. I'm going to send down Slaggert. I think those will be our 12. We're going to win the cup. I signed too many good players. I shouldn't have done this. But we're definitely going to win the cup this year. Oh, my God. Okay, so we can eliminate the minus from the looks of it. We'll get Bentham onto the higher line here. Honestly, I didn't want to lose that -2, but let's get our 2 actual prospects onto that top pairing. I think that's a better way to go. And then we can get Parker on the second pair. We'll get that +2 on the third pair. That works for me. And then forward-wise, Dezout. We're going to want on a higher line. And we're going to want Oswald on that higher line as well. Can we get anything better than a +1? We cannot. We do have to eliminate that particular minus if we can. I do not know if we can. There we go. That works for me. Is there a way to get a better combination? No, there's not. That'll have to do. That is still an incredibly stacked team by the metrics of what this league is right now. AHL team also looking like they should be pretty damn good. All we'll do is fix the defense really quickly if we can. I do not know if we can. There we go. That works for me. So the Providence Bruins should be looking okay. Ourselves here in Hartford, this could be a legendary run for us. And let's go ahead really quickly and optimize the scouting. A whole lot of OHL scouts. We need a U.S. East and a U.S. Central. Should I have signed that many good players and potentially cost ourselves better picks? I now regret it. I have regrets. We should have just gone for the lowest rated players possible. That said, who knows? 5 minutes from now, we could be talking about how much this team sucks. So we'll see what happens. We have a DEL and an NLA scout, which is good. So we'll go over to Europe, go to the Czech Extraliga, and we will go and take Mr. Renkowitz over to the Austrian League. Ice. So Russia League, SHL. I mean, yeah, it's just a matter of where we want these extra scouts. We need an extra Russian scout just to make it 2 across the board for the overseas leagues. And this last scout, let's throw you in US East for players from our own backyard. Why not? See if that works out. So we're good to start simming. In terms of captains, we didn't hand one out last year. I also don't think we're going to hand one out this year. Let's give a letter to Anton Lander. Let's give a letter to Dragicevic. Actually, you know what? Let's give it to our younger players. Oswald, Dezout, and Dragicevic. And we'll see if any of them kind of step up and prove that they should be the long-term captain. But I really can't help but think I made a mistake with the team build. But hey, it is what it is. Let's see what happens with our numerous 70 overall first-line players. Let's see if Season 2 goes the way of the Whaler. As looking at the overalls, by the way, 60, 47, and a 55. Beautiful. It's so stupid. This is one of the best ideas. I got to shout out. I mean, I had a couple of people suggest this idea to me, particularly Ender. Shout out to you, a regular from the old Twitch chat, who's like, have you done this? I'm like, no, you should do this. Okay. And here we are. That is the story of how this idea came together. The beautiful blending of a concept and draft of glory that we have been doing for years and years and years because somehow I am not sick of the idea yet and trying to make the most of the 48-team custom league idea, which we did have a brief kind of run with it earlier this year. It was just a little bit crazy with it being like, oh yeah, here's 48 good teams right out of the gates, as opposed to this, where it's like, okay, this is just a shit show, an absolute shit show, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And case in point about our record, despite us, in theory, having an absolutely stacked team, we are not exactly walking the league right now. We are in second place, now third place in our division. But yeah, we aren't exactly destroying worlds like one would think we might be. So it's an interesting situation that we find ourselves in. But who knows how this season will play out, right? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? And we're not going to worry too much about scouting. We'll treat it like a traditional draft of glory and just be like, well, whoever's there is there when we get there. So let's see. I mean, right now we are about a 500 team at this stage. Honestly, maybe the goaltending is costing us. I'm not sure. This is going to be weird. It's going to be weird. I can't believe actually that we're this subpar this season. But it does make it interesting. We are dead last in our division right now. Okay, now we're ahead of the Toros, but wow, are we bad. You think we're going to be good, and then all of a sudden, no, actually, you're going to be terrible. We did just get back-to-back shutouts and won 4 games in a row before losing to Los Angeles and their $14 million player. But is it too little too late? Follow up those wins with a handful of losses. It's not looking that good. It's not. Oh, goodness. So, I mean, hey, I'm upset in a sense of like maybe we could have won a cup this season, but at the same time, I'm not upset about the idea that we could have a higher draft pick again this season, even though there are 32 damn teams. 32 teams in the draft lottery. So, yeah, again, trade deadline. Literally nothing happens. The AI trading ability has been shut off, and we are not allowed to make trades either. So quick and easy in terms of the decisions here. We are barely above 500 just in terms of regulation, not factoring in overtime. I can't imagine. I mean, we're in the middle of March of 2024. And who knows how far out of a playoff spot we are because, again, the division structure doesn't quite work the same. I think it's the top 8 teams in each conference where Columbus is dominating. And we are currently, where the hell were we? I went right past us, didn't I? I expected us to be highlighted. We're currently 15th. So in theory, if it's the top 8, we're actually only 4 points out of a playoff spot. Look at the parity in the league, though. This is ridiculous. Okay. We might make it. We might not. Let's find out as we take on Vancouver, who are under 500, and we win. 5-1. We have Oklahoma City. We win. Ottawa. We win. And we are now suddenly first in our division. This is fucking crazy. Oklahoma City again. We do lose that game. All right, 6 games left. The Dallas Devils, very good team. We lose. Edmonton, very good team. We win in a shootout. San Diego, under 500. We win that one as well. And with 3 games left, we have still yet to clinch a playoff spot. At 41, 31, and 7. There's only, in theory, 2 playoff spots left. And we're currently 2 points back of Baltimore with a game at hand. This is going to go down to the wire for us here. The Tampa Bay tidal wave in a very, very good spot right now. This is going down to the wire as to whether or not we're going to make it. And given that we're here, I'd prefer us to make it because our lottery pick's going to be super low. We do beat Buffalo. Have we clinched a spot yet? No, we haven't. Washington, bad team. We get the win. And on the last day of the season, we still haven't clinched a playoff spot. I think it's going to come down to whoever wins this division, right? It's either going to be the New York Golden Blades, the Hamilton Hounds, or the Hartford Whalers. So both ourselves and Hamilton can tie New York, and at least one of us has the tiebreaker over them. I think it's based off of wins. So if one of us wins, are we playing each other in the last game of the season? Quebec is out. Are we playing Hamilton? We're not. We're playing New Orleans. So if Hamilton wins and we lose, Hounds make the playoffs. If we win and the Hounds lose, we make the playoffs. If we both lose, the New York Golden Blades are going to the playoffs. So this might as well be a playoff game against the New Orleans Swamp Rabbits, and we're down 2-0 early on. I think that's Patrick Harper and NHL 21 legend Trevor Wong. Still down 2-0. Third period. It's not looking too good. Still 2-0 here. Can we get a goal on Nollins? It's not looking good. Are you gonna kidding me here? We get to the final game of the season. Luce makes it 3-0. That's Griffin Luce. Ryder makes. Oh my God. Well, we had a phenomenal chance of making the playoffs, and we get shut out 4-0 by Wuthridge. Okay. All right. Tremendous chance of making the playoffs. Comes down to the final game of the season. The Hounds lost. So had we won... Oh my God, how did they make it? Is it just the top 16 teams in general? I think it is. Yeah, because 9 teams. Oh my God, so it is just the top 16 teams in general that make the playoffs. Yeah, oh my God, we were the first out. Off of tiebreaker. Literally, had we at least gone to overtime, we would have made it. We are the best team to not make the playoffs. Living up to the Hartford Whalers legacy right there. My God, that sucks. That sucks a lot. Cole Fonstad was our leading point getter. It's kind of shocking we weren't better than this. Despite being on the top line, just 24 points for Oswald, 21 for Dezout. Had we not put those guys on higher lines, I think we would have made the playoffs. And actually, let's check really quickly in terms of progress. Tough to say. I don't quite remember what their overalls were. Defensively, Dragisevich was up there. He definitely improved, which is good. I don't know if that'll be enough to win Rookie of the Year, given how many rookies are likely going to be in the league. Kalen Parker was bad, via plus-minus. Nolan Bentham, though, was pretty good. The Bentham. Russia, Ratzlaff, not amazing, but are both backup goalies now in terms of their defined roles. Let's take a look at the entire league. Leading scorer for Dallas, Ethan Gauthier. And Connor Bedard finishes second in league scoring. How, by the way? How? This fucking game. How do you figure? He's 20 points better. How does Connor Bedard not go full Connor McDavid and have like 75 million more points than everybody else? Seriously. Oh, this game sucks, doesn't it? Leo Carlson at a 77, put up 74 points. You had Nate Danielson up there. That is insane to me. Yeah, I mean, you look at how many of these guys, Callum Ritchie, Nate Danielson, they're already first-line players, is Ricard Nurmi. So a lot of the guys who were just drafted were up there, but that is absolutely insane to me that Connor Bedard does not immediately... He only had 3 more goals than Gauthier. Look at the fucking shooting difference. They have to fix the sim engine, and I'm sure this comes off as harsh and a bit, over the top, and sure, for the sake of the video, maybe the reaction is a bit over the top, but you also can't deny it's kind of ridiculous, right? Just a little bit. Jesus, I mean, I know this guy shot 19%, which is nuts. But my God, it's interesting. And then Nick Almari, former Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguin, led the league in points for defenders. He was a point per game. Is that Victor Louvre, the Love Doctor? He's up there as well. And then goaltending-wise, the winningest, Cale Morris and Brandon Maxwell again. Only one shutout for Maxwell this year. 12 shutouts for Calgary's David Kickert. I like that the Broncos have a goalie named Kickert. And Ulrich was also up there. Of course, recorded his 10th shutout of the season in the final game. Thanks, friend. Save percentage leader, Duquesne, Valentine, and Kickert. So Calgary had phenomenal defense and goaltending this season. Tremendous. For the rookies, Gauthier is going to win the Calder over, wait a minute, 93 and 85? That's what it was, right? Yeah. Yeah, Gauthier is going to win the Calder over Connor Bedard. Could you imagine? Okay. All right. That is a thing that happened this season. Fair enough. So be it. Actually, let's take a look at the standings here really quickly, too. Again, we know where we finished. In the Hunter division, only Hamilton made it to the postseason. In the Kaplan division, the top 4 teams all made it. All teams were pretty good except for the Washington Phoenix with just 29 wins. In the Hatskin division, the top 4 also made the playoffs, with the Atlanta Flames struggling the most. In the Murphy division, just 2 teams made it, Calgary and Edmonton, and so far they had the weakest division with 3 teams under 80 points. In the Deneau division, just the top 3 made it, not a particularly weak division. And in the Baldwin, just 2 teams made it, and they were another division with a couple of teams under 80 points. So all in all, the Calgary Broncos were the NHL's best. The Washington Phoenix will have the number 1 odds heading into the draft lottery. And again, we very much did not make the playoffs. Very much did not. So let's take a look here at the brackets. By the way, for the AHL, Sebastian Repo led the team in points. I do want to take a look. I should have gone the other way. It would have been shorter. I do want to take a look. Andrew Rowe for the Toronto Marlies and Mitch Reinke as a defender. Jesus. Led the league. Shout out to AHL legend Chris Terry. And goaltending-wise, the winningest Philippe Cloutier was up there with Antoine Colombe up there for save percentage. So there you go. That was the AHL situation. The AHL playoffs, Bolzano as the number 1 seed going up against the Ontario Reign. You have Milwaukee, Chicago, Bakersfield, Laval, Bridgeport, Hershey, Toronto, Asiago, Utica, Colorado, Calgary, Manitoba, Klagenfurt, and Pusterta. In the NHL, it is the Calgary Broncos. They'll be taking on Hamilton, Carolina, Chicago, Dallas, Tampa, Birmingham, St. Louis, Columbus, New York, Edmonton, Denver, New Orleans, Minnesota, New Jersey, and New York. Again, I kind of like this. I like how different it is, but we'll see if the number 1 seed Calgary Broncos can avoid disaster, much like the number 1 seed last year. And of course, the Seattle Spiders did not make the playoffs this year, despite their success last year. I don't know why I went this far. Hamilton, the number 1 seed curse continues. Hamilton beats Calgary, Chicago over Carolina, Dallas sweeps Tampa, St. Louis over Birmingham, New York over Columbus, Edmonton over Denver, Minnesota over New Orleans, and New York over New Jersey. So we are down to the quarterfinals. That number 1 seed curse, it's a thing. There's no denying it now. It is a thing. 2 years in a row is more than enough of a sample size, as Hamilton have made it to the semifinals. They knock off Chicago in 7, Dallas over St. Louis, Edmonton over New York, and New York over Minnesota. So we have Hamilton and Dallas in the battle of 16 versus 4, and then 7th Edmonton against the 11th ranked New York. It wasn't the Blades. The Golden Blades were purple. It was the New York Flags. I can't remember their goddamn name. Them. What was your name? I don't know. Battle of Orange teams. There you go. Let's see what happens here. Who's going to the final? Oh my God, Hamilton made it. Was it the Rebels or something like that? What the fuck was their name? It's driving me crazy. The first time I've forgotten somebody's name in this entire damn. The Raiders. That's what it was. The Hamilton Hounds as the 16th seed, trying to repeat what Seattle did last year by being the 16th seed and going all the way to the finals. Raiders and Hounds. New York versus Hamilton in the WHA final, season 2. And right now the Raiders are looking good. The Raiders are looking great. Hamilton, they got to try to fight back. Hamilton, can they fight back? Hamilton! No way! The Hamilton Hounds, as the 16th seed, fight back to reverse sweep the New York Raiders in the final. That is the most insane championship run I have ever seen. Beating number 1 Calgary in 5, Chicago in 7, sweeping Dallas, and then reverse sweeping the New York Raiders in the finals. The Hamilton Hounds win the title in season 2. What the hell is up with the 16th seeds in the playoffs? And we would have been the 16th seed if we won. God damn you, New Orleans. Zach Benson. Insane for the rookie. He is definitely going to win the Conn Smythe. What the hell is this franchise mode so far, man? This is nuts. Thomas Milic, former Seattle Thunderbird, .931 save percentage in the playoffs for the 4th round pick, leading his team to glory. Insanity. Insanity. Worth noting as well, the Colorado Eagles win the Calder Cup. But looking here, Gauthier does win the Art Ross Trophy as well as the Hart. Amari wins Defender of the Year for Denver. Gauthier also wins the Lady Byng and the Calder. Zach Benson wins the Conn Smythe. Kickert, the Vezina, as well as the Jennings. Jack Adams goes to Columbus's coach. Barta in Houston wins the Selke for the 2nd year in a row. Gauthier wins the Ted Lindsay. And the Rocket Richard goes to Lagunov. In the AHL, you had Andrew Rowe scoring the most points in the league. Reinke was the league MVP. Gignac scored the most goals. Marella with the Rookie of the Year honors. Reinke, top defender. Robert, top goaltender. And MVP of the playoffs was Krejcik. Is what I'm going with. He won the Butterfield. Still my favorite award name. That was a ridiculous season. That is the only way to sum it up. In terms of player development, good development, of course, for Dragicevic. Boudrias got a bit better, although he's not a long-term player for us. Russia didn't get that much better. And then Bentham, Parker, Ratzlaff, Dizot, some improvement. We do need to have a strong draft here, though. We do indeed. So we know we're in the lottery, but we also have the worst possible odds. Yeah, Phoenix moves up from 8-1, Vancouver from 5-2, so Washington will be down to 3rd, and we'll have to scroll all the way down to number 32 to find Hartford. So we do have a 1st round pick, but it's down there. A lot of retirements this year, given we had none last year. Carl Soderberg, Artem Anisimov, a bunch of former NHLers, of course, that are all calling it a career. Some players, of course, who had just played the last 2 seasons. Actually, a lot of people ended up retiring. Shout out to Damian Brunner. Ian White, Leafs legend. I didn't even know he was in this database. That's insane. That is insane. And quite a few goalies retired, including Anders Lindbach. So, there you go. Some retirements this year as we get ready for this draft with the 32nd overall pick. Right. Of course, teams are willing to trade the top 3, but there are no trades. So let's see. 1st round, 1st overall. It is the generated Theo Coe who finds his way to Phoenix. Vancouver picks up Ariel Clarkson, 2nd overall. Dmitry Dmitriev goes 3rd to Washington. Clark Caswell off the board. Amir Wallace rounds out the top 5. Berkeley Catton goes to Atlanta at 8. Aaron Kiviharu. So a couple of those medium elites happen to fall. Question is, who's available for us? We have a Rylan Keene. We'll say son of Mike. We don't know too much about him. 3 years away, so mid-60s for overall. Ricard Osplund might be 2 years away. 3 years away for Machias. I'm going to go with Machias, who might be decent. Jeremy Leroux, about 3 years out. 2 years out with a Gaborit comparison for Massey. It's not bad. Messier comparison, 3 years out. There's Alan Skinner. Hello. I mean, we don't know much about him, but damn. Andrew Basha, who is real, 2 years out. Unconfirmed ankle breaker. Travis Beck. So far, it's Skinner, who has to be the most intriguing to me. And a Frenchman named Kessel. Also, Tanner Howe. Did EA totally disrespect you with rating, Mr. Howe? Are they on the take of you're just a Connor Bedard byproduct? I don't agree with that at all. I don't. Pedersen, unconfirmed last stand. This is a tough call. We got some players with some unconfirmed abilities. That doesn't help at all. Adam Yursak, David's brother, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, boy. Well, it's a rough spot to be in. It is. Skinner was potentially the most promising guy, but we also don't know that much about him. We don't. Other than that, Keene's 3 years out. That guy's 3 years out. Everyone appears to be 3 years out. I might just have to take the risk on Alan Skinner. He's a big boy. 6'5". Let's go for Alan Skinner. Let's hope for the best. Fuck. Well, that doesn't help at all. I mean, in fairness, there were some guys that we had, that we had a little bit more information on, but for the most part, our scouts let us down, man. There wasn't too much to go off of there. We had, oh my God, if I had gone for literally anybody else, well, okay, then you get to the medium nines. Tanner Howe's a low top 6. I can't guarantee that I would have taken any of these three. I was tempted to pick Keene, but there you have it. Our first disaster of a draft pick. Didn't take very long, did it? Vinny is available. Then there is Andre Anisimov. Do I dare be disappointed by another pick? That is the question. Do I dare? Or we could just go with Vinny and get another really solid goaltender in there. Plus, he plays for EFCO, so why would I not want to? There's Talixon, Leo Hines. Oh, God. Like, I get it. There's a lot of players to look at, but, man, our scouts. We need better scouts. Well, I might regret this. We're going for the goalie. How good's Vinny in this one? Medium, fringe, disrespectful. For the most part, though, that does mean that our goaltending is sorted out between Rotzlaff and Vinny. So, I'm not too upset about that. Yep. Never mind. I'm pretty upset. All right. Cool. We could have had a medium top 6 forward and then gotten a medium elite defender in round 2. Oh, boy. Okay. Hindsight is what it is. I'm still blaming our scouts for not getting us tremendous information because they didn't. Ugh. Oh, what a terrible way to start things off. We might have to go for Vukafuji here. Like, is there anybody that can compare to a 3-year projection? Luke Misa. Novoseltsev's 5 years out. Another goalie. Oh, I hate it here. Like, there wasn't anybody really even scouted. Like, there's Coughlin, but there's just no way he's actually going to be that good. Christopher Oliwa, son of Christoph. There's just not that much to go off of. Vuka Fuji. I hope this works. What a time between Skinner, Vinny, and now Fukafuji. One of my worst drafts of all time. What a time for it to kick this series off. This is tremendous. Oh my god. Okay, there's no way that guy has elite edges. Is that 4 out of 4? 3 out of 4. I was gonna say there's no way he has it. Danny Pan. Well, you know what? We were doing better. Danny Pan and Mateo Mann. We were doing better when the scouts would choose for me. So screw it, scouts. If you think you know so well, give me a good pick. Medium 7th, Sammy Karppinen. That's great. That's great. Okay, we're off to a terrible start in terms of drafting, and now it's just like, well, what name do we like? That's all we have going for us. Oh my god, yeah, in terms of scouted out information, okay, this is a disaster. Hopefully it's a disaster for everyone else as well. Let's go for Jason Keith, because he's a younger generated player. Medium bottom 6 sniper. Okay. Braden Dubé's got to be real. Marcus Nold might be real. Trying to avoid Luke Cousins. I mean, how bad could he be? Trying to avoid presumably real players. Asher Moses. Part the seas and be the one good pick. Nope. And we go to the 7th round for what has easily been my worst. Look at the flow on Dylan Gordon. What has easily been my worst draft. This guy's an enforcer. Lance McCarty, son of Darren. Low 9. Easily my worst draft ever. That was abysmal. Oh boy. Had we taken Keane and then that medium elite defender, we would have been looking pretty good. It didn't happen. A full calendar year in the books. Our head coach's contract's coming up. Oh, this is shaping up to be a pretty rough off season. So goalie-wise, we're going to let go of Fatone. We're pretty much going to let go of everybody that we brought in, except for those that we signed a little bit longer term. And I think this year, we will try to take the outright tank approach because we thought we'd do well. We didn't. And if anything, just cost us a better pick. And if anything, we have seen that those higher draft picks are that much more important now than before. So we're going to skip ahead to free agency. What I will do is send out all of the coaching staff and scouting contract offers in between episodes, and then we'll get going again. And hopefully, maybe, possibly, potentially, we'll be able to sort things out a little bit heading into next season. By the way, free agents, top guy, $10 million, former Devils draft pick, Xavier Bernard, who wants $10.8 million. Pfaffengoot!